Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Johnson. Put that over there. Thank you very much, Dr. Johnson. Good evening. I'm delighted to be here tonight to help celebrate the 212th birthday of the Onondaga County Medical Society. Congratulations to your outgoing president, Brian Johnson, and certainly your incoming president, Mary Ann Millar. It's never easy being president of a medical society, especially during these tumultuous and turbulent times for medicine. Surely far more formidable than it was back in 1967 when I first started working with the AMA and began a most enjoyable half-century relationship with the noblest profession of them all. I also want to acknowledge my new friends and Florida neighbors, David and Lynn Horowitz down here from Onondaga County, who recently bought a house on my block and just 6 doors down from me in Bonita Springs, Florida. What a small world. And it's so nice to see Jerry Hoffman as well. He's a legend and has done so much for physicians over the years. So Jerry, congratulations. I'm really delighted to hear that some medical students, actually I believe 2 tables, the future of medicine, are in the audience tonight. I sincerely hope that you will become members of the Onondaga County Medical Society and MSNY and AMA as well. They are all fighting for you in your future practices. Politics and political ineptitude will be part of your future practice lives, as all practicing physicians well know. Since I was born of the Jurassic period, I can remember way back when government political ineptitudes were at their best, or should I say their worst. The Tuesday night midterm elections reminded me of a few of my favorites. During the 1972 presidential election, almost 50 years ago, it was on an October night in Youngstown, Ohio, when the vice presidential candidate on the Democratic ticket, Sergeant Shriver, was addressing a large group of steelworkers. After his speech, he invited them to join him at the bar next door for a libation or two. When Shriver got there, the steelworkers were already gathered around the bar drinking Boilermakers, a shot and a beer. He cut through the crowd and sidled up to the bartender to order a drink. Now, if you're Sergeant Shriver looking to connect with these prospective voters, what drink does he order? Does he have a Boilermaker? What do you think he ordered? What would you have ordered in that situation? Well, Sergeant Man of the People Shriver actually ordered a Courvoisier and a snifter. Reports were that it didn't go over too well. Now, I don't know if it was that kind of ineptitude as a reason why Shriver and George McGovern won a grand total of 1 state, Massachusetts, in the election, but I'm sure that his being out of touch didn't help. Clearly, Sarge didn't get it, just like the clueless health policy makers who help make your professional lives miserable. But I don't want to be partisan when talking about ineptitudes. Let's go back about 4 years later to the Jerry Ford White House in 1976 during this country's bicentennial celebration. President Ford had invited Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip of England to an elaborate dinner at the White House. Being the good host, the president asked the Queen to join him alone on the dance floor in front of a gathering of dignitaries. It was July 17th. One of the most popular songs that summer was ABBA's Dancing Queen, which would have been most appropriate for the occasion. Instead, the band chose a 1937 song. As they began dancing, the White House Orchestra began playing The Lady is a Tramp. The Queen and Prince Philip were not amused. I want to tell you a story that doesn't involve ineptitude, just the opposite. This story tells why every patient in America should want to have his or her physician free to be able to use their knowledge, independent judgment, years of experience, and even their intuition in treating each patient as a unique person. I probably wouldn't be standing here today if it weren't for the dogged persistence of my dermatologist, Cynthia Hensley of Bonita Springs, Florida. Dave and Lynn, you may want to look her up, where I live. Almost 6 years ago, she diagnosed a deadly melanoma on the top of my head. The problem was that no lab or even the Mohs surgery would confirm it. However, she insisted that she had made the proper diagnosis. Another negative lab report came in, but still she wouldn't budge. She just knew it was cancer. And then came another lab report, the fourth, from Central Florida, that finally confirmed the diagnosis. My point is that Dr. Hensley's original diagnosis and her refusal to back away from it undoubtedly saved my life. Her steadfast belief in her diagnosis based on her experience did not give in to the lab results which contradicted her. Isn't that what America's patients want in their physicians? Don't we want your independent judgment and extensive medical training to prevail over some general bureaucratic standard? It may be easy to standardize treatment protocols, but as you all know, it's difficult indeed to standardize patients. I don't know if you've seen the article the Physicians Foundation submitted to Forbes last November, which was also picked up by Kevin, MD. We took exception to an economist who suggested that physician incomes were too high, that they greatly contributed to rising healthcare costs, and finally, get this, that it is time to break up the doctor cartel. Mr. Economist, asses are made to bear, Shakespeare said, and so are you. His twisted logic reminds me of Willie Nelson's comment. He was upset by the criticism of Lance Armstrong. I think it's just terrible and disgusting, Willie opined, how everyone has treated Lance Armstrong, especially after what he achieved. Imagine winning